Well, welcome back to the channel, and it is here on another glorious day, ready to do a project. Bug just flew in my face. Okay, anyway, if you're new here, thank you for showing up. I hope you have a good time, have some fun, leave a comment. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. It's good to see you again. Today we're doing another detail video. Some of you have seen this on the channel before, just doing like fidgety little stuff with it. It's a 2001, I think. I don't remember the year. Ford F350. Mostly just sits around here on the property. Doesn't really get used that much, so it kind of sits off in the back corner under a tree. Gets covered in stuff all the time. When we do use it, it's for like dump runs and like gravel runs and just like, you know, little stuff, you know, truck stuff. But it's not really a daily driver. Sometimes it gets driven daily, but that's when one of the smaller cars with better gas mileage and a little more comfortable to drive is not working. For the most part, it just sits here and it gets filthy, and it never gets washed because it never gets used. When we do use it, it's just like got to do a chore real quick and then put it away and, you know, think about something else. So it needs a bath really bad. It's been almost a year since the last time I washed it. I'm the last one who washed it. It's kind of a family truck. The whole family uses it here. It's a nice truck. It's got the Power Stroke in it, the 7.3. One of my favorite engines. 7.3 and the 6.9s have never done me wrong. And yeah, I'm just kind of tired of looking at it. I've got a trip coming up to where I have to tow this big ugly white thing with it, and I kind of want it to look nice for that. And it just needs it. It needs a good washing. It needs a good buffing. The interior hasn't been cleaned in I don't know how many years. So we're gonna get on this thing. We're gonna get it clean and all purdied up and ready for some adventure. All right, let's take a closer look at it. All right, so first off, you can see just all the tree debris that has fallen on it. All this yellow stuff is pollen from all these trees we got sitting around here. I figured that out, all that yellow pollen. I don't know if some of you watched the Acura video where every time I washed it, it would just get covered like within 20-30 minutes because I washed it under the trees. But yeah, it's all from those trees over there. So it's covered in pollen, debris, just all kind of the paint. Can you feel that? I know you can hear it, but can you feel it? It's got some like old bird crust on it, I think. You know, it's a really pretty color. It's like green and gold. I'm pretty unique. I've only seen like a couple trucks that have this color combination, and they all look better than this one. So let's get this one looking as good as those. Kind of, I don't know, kind of grandpa-y colors, kind of, I don't know what you would call this color scheme. But it's cool, and I like it, and I want it to look good. All right, and then we got a whole bunch of scratches because sometimes this thing goes into, you know, places that it's way too big for. That's another reason why it's not driven. You know, it's a big vehicle. Driving around town is not fun. Can't ever find a parking spot. You know, I don't mind driving big vehicles. I like it sometimes. But all the time, it's just kind of a pain. You know, and for all those out there that drive one of these every day, good for you. I'm glad that you like that. I'm glad that's your thing. It's just not my thing, you know? I like driving littler stuff around town. You know, driving out in the country's okay, but in town, it gets a bit much. Yeah, so we got these scratches go all the way down both sides. Some of them are, you know, pretty big, but they're all gonna buff out. Some of them might just wash out too. Some of these are from, I took this way out to the desert about 10 months ago or so, and had a nice little vacation out there, and it was way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's nothing but dirt roads. There wasn't houses for miles, literally. You didn't see anybody for most of the day unless you went kind of close to where people were. It was really nice, really relaxing, really quiet, and took this on some like cattle trails that were like way too small for it. So that's where some of this came from. Some of the other scratches on this thing have been here for years and years and years. Even when I washed it last year, I was just thinking, man, it needs a good buffing. I didn't have time last year to buff it though. If we look real close, we see kind of all this spider web stuff. And I want to see how much of that stuff we can buff out and try to get it to look smooth and shiny again. And if you look at my reflection here, it's not the best. You know, I should be able to see something of myself. You know, I want it to look like the glass, but over here, it's so dull. The bed is empty right now. The biggest thing this thing is used for is just hauling garbage. We live like a mile out of the service area for the garbage company around here, so we have to put everything in the bed and take it to the dump ourselves. It's kind of a pain in the butt. but that's the thing that's used for the most. I mean, other than hauling, but you know, we don't do that all the time. I think that's paint. But it definitely has a couple scratches here and there that I don't think are gonna come out, but we'll see. Sometimes it's surprising what comes out. So your classic strap something down to the bed with the bungee cord right there. Don't know if all that'll come out. Some of this stuff is coming off, and I'm kind of nervous about getting close to that with the buffer. Might have to stay away from that a little bit. I'll find out. I know I'm gonna mess up and just dig into it at some point, and something's gonna get messed up. Always does, but you know, we'll find that out later. Here's some chips. These are actual chips. I know those won't come out. There's a big, oh, right here. There's the big scratch. That definitely will not come out. But you know, I'm curious, will that one come out? Oh, that one will not. That one won't. But I'm curious to see what will come out and what won't. Look at the yellow shimmer of all that pollen in this sunlight. It's just, yeah, can't wait. And because we live on a gravel road, it's always like this. Every time, all our cars look like this. Just one day driving up and down the driveway, just all over the place. You know, I don't know how to get gravel clean. It's just the way it is. We don't really take it out in mud or anything. This is just gravel. Just dirt road living. It's not so bad in the summer. In the summer, it just gets covered in dust. Like, you know, fall, winter, and spring, it rains all the time here. And so this is just covers it. Got another car to do that I haven't washed in a while either. And it gets driven a lot more, and that's worse than this. But, you know, sun's out now, so time to start getting things shining. The windows are all nasty. Sometimes there's a dog in here and just slobbering all over the windows. Has been for years. Let's look inside. So the inside's pretty nice. Dog hair, dirt. I don't remember the last time this thing has been cleaned on the inside. It's not horrible in here, but it is definitely, you know, dusty and filthy. The windows are really bad on the inside. I don't know if you can see all the slobber on that window, but yeah, they definitely need to be cleaned. The seats need a good wiping down and need some kind of protectorant put on it. These are real nice, comfy seats. The sides feel really good. The tops feel, you know, rough, sunbathed, and untreated. But yeah, all this dog hair is gonna come out. I'm gonna shampoo the carpets. Don't know how good it'll do, but we'll find out. I like that they're kind of gray, they're kind of muted. I like the color of the carpets. It's kind of muted color, but you know, I'm surprised that there's not more stains in here. Unfortunately, the back seat is full of stuff. It's not fun to put friends in here because they have, you know, to deal with all this junk. So all that's gonna get organized and put under the seat. And unfortunately, the seat is pretty torn up back here. I was thinking one day I'm gonna go to a junkyard and just get a cover in the same color, because these just pop off. And I'm sure there's a bunch of these in the junkyard with the back seat that's in good shape, unlike this one. But that's all dog damage. But you know, it happens. You know, back here we got where all this stuff should be. I thought this seat flipped up, but it doesn't. I don't know how far I'm gonna go with like taking seats out and stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. If it's too bad, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I might take seats out. I might not. Depends on how much time I have. Honestly, this is gonna take me, I don't know, maybe 18 hours spread over 2 or 3 days. And we'll see at the end, because I'm gonna do the interior last, and we'll see at the end how much time I have left over. Here's a shot of the other side for you. A lot more dog hair. You know, some of this stuff has been sitting down here for, like, look, it's got 2 hitches and there's 1 hitch on it. Like, why do we need 3 hitches? And if we do have hitches, they should be under the, you know, the seat or behind the seat. Somewhere where, you know, we can keep this clean. The headliner's in pretty good shape. Not gonna worry about it too much. I don't think I need to touch it really. There is, you know, a little bit of staining on these just from sitting with the moisture. There's a cigarette hole in it. Nobody is supposed to be smoking in this thing, ever. That is upsetting. You know, most of the interior is going to be pretty easy because it's just this plastic stuff. I might bring the steamer out and do it. I mean, it would make it go quicker and easier. I'm probably going to bring the steamer out. I can just tell already. You know, the interior is going to be pretty easy except for the seats and the carpet, because this stuff is just so easy to keep clean. It's just, you know, cheap plastic. Just basically wipe it or steam it down and it's done. And then you cover it with something to make it look all like, you know, like it's taken care of. Also, this thing only has 79,000 original miles. It's been in the family since brand new. It was special ordered. All in this configuration. It's got like overload springs in the back and stuff. Had a camper on the back of it for a while. It has towed a whole bunch of stuff. You know, we got a couple trailers over there and stuff. Tows this thing all the time. Let's check out the engine. So the engine don't look too bad. I am gonna spray it off, soap it up, let it sink in, and then spray it off. There was some mice that got into it, and I had to rewire a bunch of the stuff right in here, like injector whatevers and things. And I left my little parts bin in here. I'll have to take that out. Or maybe leave it in for the next time. But yeah, that was fun. Came out to start it and just crank and crank and crank. It's like, uh-oh. And then got in here and there's like all these frayed wires and stuff. And yeah, it was a good day. Good day. Not like I was in a hurry that day, you know? And so the order of operations we're gonna do is we're gonna wash it and buff it as far as we can get today. It's gonna take a long time. It's a lot of real estate to cover with the buffer, you know? I mean, that's gonna take 5 hours to buff this thing at least. It's probably gonna take me like 18 hours, I'm guessing, altogether. Hopefully not quite that long, but you know, I do like to take my time and really like pay attention to what I'm doing, like not leave mistakes or messes behind. So, you know, I'm not as fast as some of the other guys on YouTube. I'm also not a professional like some of the other guys on YouTube. So, you know, they can get in here and they can get this done and quick and gone. So, you know, I always take my time, but you know, I'm a hobbyist and because it's a hobby, I enjoy it and enjoy taking my time and doing it as good as I can. We have a good weather today and we have good weather tomorrow. And then okay weather tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy and stuff. I'm sure it's going to be raining. Every time there's a cloud in the sky, it rains here. So we're gonna try to get it washed and buffed as much as we can today. And then after the buffing, then we'll do the interior. I usually do it different than that, but because of weather, and then the day after tomorrow, it's definitely raining. So because of weather, we're doing it a little different than normal, which, you know, you gotta change and adapt. All right, so to spray it off, I just got my trusty little pressure washer here and some soap. What kind of soap is that? That's just dish soap. Smells like green apple, so it smells really nice. But I'm using dish soap on this instead of like car soap because it is so dirty. And because we are buffing, I want the paint to be as clean and degreased as possible. And then we'll be putting wax on it afterwards. Dish soap's really good for doing this kind of stuff. It's still gentle enough to where it doesn't hurt it, but it's strong enough to really degreases and cleans that paint. Oh, I just thought I have to clay bar this thing. That is gonna take probably an hour to clay bar the whole thing. Anyway, and then I just got a bucket of soap with the cloth in there, I think I threw one in. Got some step stools here so I can get up in the upper areas, because this thing's taller than me. I'm like 6'3", and this thing's taller than me, and it's just stock. It's just a stock truck. It's crazy tall. Then we got stuff we won't use till tomorrow, you know, a bunch of chemicals and other accoutrements. A bunch of rags and stuff over here, and I'm sure I forgot stuff, and so I'm gonna have to be running back to the barn constantly to grab more stuff. And the reason I'm doing it out here is because it won't fit behind the barn, except for on the side of the barn, but then I wouldn't have enough room on the sides to like move around and film properly and stuff. Like, you know, I have to stand way back to get this whole thing in the frame. Yeah, I'm like 20 feet away from it right now. Working back there just won't work. So let's start with getting the engine soaking and sprayed off. All right, while we sit and wait for that to soak a little bit, I do gotta say, I know some people are gonna be like, what are you doing spraying a motor down? But let me tell you, I have done like, I don't know, hundreds of these just like this. And as long as you don't get in it right away and drive it, let it dry. Spray it, rinse it, spray it again, take your little detail brush, go over everything. I'm not going to do that today. That's too much. I'm not too worried about the engine. I'm just trying to make it look nicer. But, you know, just don't start it right away. Don't drive it right away. Let it dry out. You know, give it a day or two. And since, you know, it's nice and sunny today, it's pretty warm, you know, it's going to have plenty of time to dry. So just do that. You'll be good. You know, don't try to like wash it right before you go to a car show or something. That's when you have troubles. that took quite a while. That's probably 2.5, 3 hours of just pressure washing this thing. It was so dirty. There was so much. Even when I got down to, like, you know, rubbing it with the cloth and soap and stuff, I could just still feel so much stuff on it. And it looks so much better now. So now it's time to do the buffing. I need to change my water over. It's really nasty. Get some new rags in there because this is not the last time we're going to wash it. We're going to wash it at least twice more, maybe 3 on the outside. I'm going to take a little break. I forgot to eat breakfast today, so I'm going to go do that real quick and let it dry a little bit. Let the inside dry with the window down or open. Slid open, not down. Then we're gonna come and gonna start buffing, and it's gonna be interesting. Let's look at some of what we got here. And you see how dull that is right there? This whole hood looks like that, and I think it's just, you know, neglect. Basically, it's just neglect of the paint. Never waxing it, barely ever washing it. You know, I feel a little bad. This hood's gonna look amazing. So we go down the side. You can see a bunch of these scratches. All of these, well, almost everything's gonna come out. I can tell. You know, stuff like this won't come. Well, maybe that will. I don't know what that is. That feels like transfer. That's not a scratch. This gold down here is so sparkly. I don't know how much that'll transform, but that will also transform and be really, really shiny and pretty. These handles have definitely gotten a little dry. I'm gonna treat all the rubber and stuff after I buff it, probably after I wax it. Just take a rag, you know, rub it along there, get it all nice and treated. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll get some close-up shots, especially of the worst parts. I wonder how much some of that's kind of deep. This doesn't feel deep. I'm betting right here we're gonna have some, and right here it's all gonna go away. So yeah, let me go grab a bite to eat real quick, and then we'll get on to the buffing post haste. That one's gonna go away. All right, I'm back from my lunch / dinner, because it's like dinner time. As you can see, the sun has gone behind the trailer right there, but if we move forward a little bit, there it is. So we're gonna be dealing with that. I had a bunch of coffee, so I'm gonna have to pee every 10 minutes, which is, you know, always fun. Coffee's always a great thing. Love it. Makes you jittery. Have to go to the bathroom, you know, both kinds. You know, coffee's great. Anyway, so we're back here with the truck. I have done a couple little test spots right here. So I'm just using like the second cheapest polisher, whatever this thing is called, buffer, that you can buy. Then I have a medium pad that's really well used and almost about ready to give up the ghost. And with that, I have this dual action cleaner polisher stuff. Does pretty good, but it does leave swirls. See right there? So this is just that by itself. Definitely does break up some of these big scratches really well. Like that one just totally disappears. That one disappears. Definitely looks better. A lot of those big scratches are gone. Not all of them. I was kind of surprised this one right here stayed, but that's okay. All right, and then we have a fine polishing pad with this swirl remover stuff. And this stuff works really good for removing the swirls. Also, if you just have a car that's just kind of then use this. If it's, you know, as bad as this truck is, you're probably gonna have to go to the heavier stuff right here, which won't stay up here. So that is right here. And it looks, you know, pretty good. So there's, you know, that spot I didn't do, this spot I did do. It looks pretty nice, pretty great, all by itself. But it does definitely leave some things that the other, like, can you see those scratches right there? Like the other one would definitely get. And then I did both of them together. Both of them together removes the swirls, removes the big scratches, and looks really, oh, it feels so smooth. This one feels a little bit more like skin. This one feels a little bit smoother, but this one with both of them together feels very smooth. Very nice, fresh paint. So where the sun is, you know, the metal is hot. You don't necessarily want to buff hot metal. So maybe I'll start down there, and I'm gonna do one section at a time, just nice and easy and simple. I got a stool for the stuff up here, and then I got my other stool for the stuff down there. You know, when you're buffing, you want to be comfortable. You want it right there in your face. You don't want to be like stretching all weird and stuff, and you know, comfortable, like 10 and 2, and like arms bent, just like driving a race car. You know, you don't want your arms stretched way out here and you're like trying to drive like this. No, you know, when you're driving that race car, you want to be right here at 10 and 2, so you have all the control. You want to be in the car, you know what I mean? You're part of the car now when you're buffing. I don't know how else to explain it. Comfort and agility is what you're going for. Feel a little hyped up. Maybe I had too much coffee. I'm gonna stop yammering. I'm gonna put some headphones in to protect my ears because that thing is annoyingly loud. That'll make you go deaf. Listen to some great tunes, kind of like meditate. What's the word I'm looking for? Get all not lethargic, cathartic. Trying to get cathartic, not lethargic with it. You know, just kind of groove. You know what I mean? You get into the groove, you just keep going, and it'll be done before we know it. Anyway. All right, well, it's getting pretty late for tonight, and the sunlight's been gone for a bit. You know, it's still out there, but not here. I've actually gone over the time that I wanted to spend on this for today. So yeah, it's time to quit. I've got stuff to do tonight, but I got one side of the bed done. This stuff takes forever. So I'm probably gonna spend almost all day doing the rest of the truck, buffing it. But let me tell you, this bed, look how shiny it is. It looks so nice. Look at that. And then you get up here to the door, and I know the door is dusty. It's got some like dust on it and stuff, but look at the difference. So insanely different. Before I go in, I'm gonna put all my, you know, important electric stuff, at least like under the trailer or something, so it doesn't get wet in case it does rain tonight. I'm also gonna spray this down real quick on this side with the pressure washer, just to get anything like this off of it. You know, if there's anything like stuck up in here, you definitely don't want to leave this on and drying, because it can get hard and then it can get real hard to get off. But this thing's gonna look great. I've just used the polish for most of the part. I used a little bit of the harder stuff for like right here. It took quite a bit away, not quite that much, and I used a little bit right here. You can still see that one pretty well. Pretty much the rest is just the polishing, swirl removing stuff, and it's doing a great job. And the wax I have, I know will be able to hide, you know, some of the little tiny, like that little scratch. The wax will probably hide that. It'll probably hide like this little bit right here. It's by the same company. It's pretty good wax. It's okay wax. It's not my favorite, but it works really good at like, it's gonna bring so much more luster out in this. But yeah, I'm gonna clean up real quick tonight, and then I'll come back in the morning, Hopefully I got an errand to run. Hopefully I can get back to this in time to where we can finish it tomorrow. I mean, literally all we did was from there to there, and then we've got the whole rest of it to do. I'm not going to do the roof. Nobody's ever going to see that. I will wax it, but I'm not going to buff it. I'm not worried about that. Unless you're like in a building above me and looking down, you know, I don't care. Judge me all you want. But yeah. All right. So see you in a bit. All right. I'm finally back to it. It's a little later than I wanted to start. Still morning time. It's like 10, I think. Had to run some errands, but finally getting back to it. Got a whole lot more to go, so I'm not going to waste a bunch of time talking. Let's just get to it. Let's get grinding. Let's get it done. All right, well, excuse me. I'm trying to have a couple bites. I've been, got to keep the energy up doing this kind of thing, you know. Been doing this for 8 hours today. Had this bowl of tofu and veggies, like broccoli and flat peas and green onions and a bunch of spices and a couple different oils. But it's great for protein, and it's light. I never feel heavy when I eat this stuff. Like if I eat a steak or something or a big hamburger, I feel heavy afterwards. This stuff is good for you know, expending a bunch of energy during the day. I'm not one to feel heavy. It's full of protein, full of vitamins. I like it. All right, anyway, so it's getting late. I've been out here about 9 hours today. Pretty much everything is done except for the front door, the front fender, half the hood. But dang, look how good that looks. Just phenomenal. It's starting to get dark. Probably gonna rain again, but man, it's looking good. This is satisfying work, really satisfying work. Just look at the shine of it. It's got, you know, dust all over it still. Nothing else is clean on it, just the body and paint. Got to do everything, the windows, the trim, the tires, but it's getting there. Since we're here, I wanted to say that, you know, I'm not an expert with this stuff in any way. This is all just stuff that I have learned on my own. You know, I've never gotten paid to do, actually I did get paid for detailing when I was like 18, but I didn't do that for very long. That was a long time ago. You know, so some of the techniques and stuff may be wrong, but they're good for me, they work for me. You know, different techniques are good for different people. You know, it's not like cookie cutter, one thing fits all. You know, there's definitely like the basics are what you're supposed to follow, and then beyond that, it's what you can do, you know, efficiently and have an acceptable product at the end. Anyway, I had to wash out my pad like twice because there's so much space on this truck. There's so much square footage that my pad got just filled up with stuff twice. I can usually do like a whole car with, you know, not having to wash the pad the whole time. But yeah, that was kind of a shocker to me. There's just so much space. It's like, you know, all right, I gotta get this stuff, you know, cleaned up. See you here in a I don't know, 10 seconds. Well, it's morning. Got my coffee. And can you hear the excitement in my voice? It's raining. It's real nice. It's water and everything, that's good. Things are gonna be greener a little bit longer, so not complaining about that. Gonna refill the aquifer that we sit on, that's our drinking water. That's gonna be cool too. Keeps the pollen and the dust down, so that's nice. But you know, when you're outside trying to detail a vehicle, it's not so nice. But you know, you change and adapt, I guess, because you have to. So I pulled out the awning and parked the truck under it as much as I could. Man, this awning stinks. All awnings stink. Why do awnings stink so much? You know, you're supposed to be out like somewhere like in a nice, you know, wilderness area. Usually that's where I take my trailers, out to the wilderness. And supposed to be enjoying your time, but you have to deal with this friggin' vinyl, like what the heck smell that comes off these things. Anyway, I guess I'm ranting. Anyway, so we got it under the awning. Gonna be doing just like whatever fits under the awning at the time. So we got the door, the fender, and half the hood left. Gonna buff that stuff out. I'm real limited on space here, so the camera angles are gonna be weird. But you know, I gotta get this done. I can't wait. It's not supposed to be sunny for another like 3 days, and I can't wait that long. And you know, water doesn't hurt when you're buffing. A little bit of water. Sometimes it's good to like spray the panel down with like a spray bottle. Get your pad a little bit wet, and that really does help. So you know, this is actually, I guess, a good thing for us. And I know, but let's get it done. I don't know if you can see this, but the rain is going, in like 3 different directions. And one of the directions was sideways, so it's coming all the way under the awning onto the hood. You know, over there, under the awning. Wow, I was buffing that last little piece. But it's finally done. That's finally done being buffed. Now I just got to figure out how to wash it and get wax on it. I think I'm going to take a little break, grab a bite to eat. Hopefully wait for it to clear up a little bit. But then I'll come back and I'll wash everything. Do like the wheels and stuff. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll clean the wheels and wait for a break. And if there's a break, at least from the sideways rain, I don't know if you can see this. Like, it's literally like coming in. Like, I'm fully under. I'm standing next to the truck. Here's the truck, right? I'm fully under here. And it's not like windy today. I mean, it had a little gust here and there, but it's not windy and it's hitting me in the face. This is what it's like to live in the Great Northwest, you know? Just deal with this all the time. Rains all the time. So yeah, let's hope this clears up and let's get to the next step. All right, well, I just checked the weather, and it's supposed to be less rainy, like 60% instead of 100%, which is what it has been. So we're gonna wash it real quick to make sure we get everything off from the buffing, all the buffing compound and stuff. Then I think we'll see how it is. I might have to pull it under here again and do panel by panel for the wax. But we're getting close. Every little step is just that step closer. What? All right, well, we've come a long way. In the sky, there's actually a little bit of blue. Look at that. See through the clouds. That's probably not going to last very long. Anyway, so it's all washed. Got the tires done. They still need to be, you know, tire, whatever stuff on it. What's that stuff called? I can't remember. Dressing, tire dressing. This one is definitely stained. I washed that thing twice. Can't get that stuff off, so that's just staying there. The dressing will hide that. It's the reason why you use dressing, is to hide some of the stuff that you can't clean. Looks a lot better. The whole thing looks a lot better. Usually at this point, I will do the windows because I don't like spraying stuff on, like cleaner, after I've waxed. But I think I'm gonna take a risk and I'm gonna wax it because it is kind of nice right now and I want to get the paint protected. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go panel by panel, spray it down, probably give it a light wash, spray it down, wash it, dry it, and then wax it. I'm gonna start with the roof, which is my least favorite, especially when you can't see it. And then I'll probably, you know, go down the sides and stuff and get some wax on it. So there are a couple spots on the plastic that still have the residue from the buffing. And I took a magic eraser and like rubbed it off. The dust is still there, so definitely, you know, there's a little bit left. But definitely, you know, it's about the details. It's called detailing, so it's about the details. So I'm gonna try to get that stuff off as much as I can while I'm doing the wax wash thing. And then that'll also be the last time we use the soapy water. And the next time we wash it will be the regular car wash stuff that has, like, you know, wax in it as well. Like, it's like easy clean, it's zip wax, you know, zip wax car wash. I wash it with the you know, super soapy dish soap because it gets all the grease and all the waxes off. It's like using a stripper. Like, it strips really nice. It's like, you know, just clean as a stripper can get without being like a harsh chemical. That's the other thing. It's not a harsh chemical. It's just dish soap. You know, it's the stuff they wash little baby ducks in an oil spill. We're gonna get started up there and get it all done. All right, let's get to it. Oh, and for wax, using this stuff, it's Carnauba Plus. You can see right there. This stuff is okay. I'm a little disappointed about how not long it lasts. I've had the same stuff that was not Carnauba Plus, where it's just Carnauba. Same company. And it lasted a long time. This seems to last like a month, and you have to reapply it. It's gold class, but apparently it's, you know, economy in action. So, but I mean, this is what I have, so this is what we're gonna use. And it's like fairly new. I bought it because I ran out of the old Carnauba. Yeah, this, gonna start applying. All right, well, we're drawing to the end of another day, and this is my third day working on this thing. Talked to the actual owner of it, the registered owner of it. Like I said before, it's a family truck, so just kind of like everybody in the family uses it. And the actual owner who bought it, brand new, said that since they have bought it, they've never actually washed it. Well, I washed it once, just quick, like spray it off, hand wash it. A couple other of the family members have, like, you know, they've used it once or twice and then took it through what's it called, a scratch and shine or whatever, you know, drive through wash, and like that's basically it. So this is the biggest wash it's had since it was brand new, 2001. Look how shiny it is. Just like, it's insane what it looked like before. I really need to get better at doing the before and afters. Anyway, so the paint is done. The paint is done. My goodness, that took a while. I have not done a truck this big in a long time. I forgot how long it takes, especially when it's in this bad a shape. You know, I've done some pretty bad vehicles. I think the best video I have is Orange Crate, which I'll put a link up here. No, is it on this side? I can't remember. I'll put a link up while I'm talking about it. That thing was very oxidized and very powdery. The paint was so powdery. That's probably pretty close to how bad this one is. This may be one of the worst vehicles I've done. as far as paint. Interiors I've done way worse than this. I think the largest vehicle I've ever detailed was a semi. It was like a 1950 something Peterbilt that had been retrofitted with like some early 2000s like Caterpillar big ass motor, had a clear valve cover on it. Hell, it was so cool to watch it like start up and then it just gets, you know, all oily and stuff. But that thing took forever. But I was actually getting paid to do that one. It was all original paint too. It was like gorgeous when I was done. I wish I had pictures of it. That was a long time ago. So as far as the exterior is concerned, we have windows and we have trim left. The bumpers could use a good shine, and the front one is pretty good. It's got a couple like stains. The back one's pretty bad. I'm not going to worry about that during this detail because this is taking me so long as it is. The roof could really use a good polishing. It's in pretty bad shape. It's almost as bad as the hood. The hood was the worst part of this that I've done. You remember where there was all these scratches down the door? They're all gone. Look at that. It's so shiny. You could do your makeup in this. I got to shine the tires up. The wheels also need to be taken off and polished. The front ones are in really bad shape. They got a bunch of corrosion and stuff and really bad stains. I scrubbed them as hard as I could, and they're just not coming out. So they actually need to be popped off and like polished up with a little polisher wheel and stuff. And I'm not going to do that for this video. Maybe another one at some point. But they probably have to be recoated and stuff, and just like, you know, that's a lot of, I'm not that great with like shining up aluminum. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. You know, I've touched every inch of the exterior of this truck multiple times in the last couple days. It's like having a 3-day fling. But what was I saying? It kind of makes me think, you know, there's a fine line between obsession and passion. And I'm not sure where I'm at on this thing. Although I am getting tired of it, so maybe it's not obsession. Anyway, I'm trailing off again. So, with the time that's taken me just to do the exterior, and there's still some left on the exterior, I'm going to have to call this for this video. So this is going to be a two-parter. I know at the beginning of the video I said we're going to do the whole thing, but I didn't realize how bad this paint was. So I apologize for that. But it does give me more time. I got to wash all my rags because I've used so many on this thing. Anyway, if you followed the video for this long, please stick around for part 2. If you like this kind of stuff, if you want to support the channel, I have a PayPal down in the comments, down in the description. You know, please feel free to donate, even if it's like $1, $5, whatever the smallest that you can do. You know, if you like this, please give a like, please give a subscribe. It's free. It's free to subscribe. It's free to like. You can even do the notification thing, but you know, I don't care about that. You can, if you're into it and it pops up, you're into it. You know, if you're not, then you don't need to be notified about it. But if you do subscribe, that would be great. That would really help the channel out. All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.